Greetings, everyone, and welcome to IGN Arena episode number 14. The gang is back together. My name is Mitch Dyer. This man is Kyle. Why did I forget your last name?
It's all right.
Kyle O'Connor.
He's not dead.
You just broke my heart. Yeah, I'm not dead. I made it.
Kyle O'Kyle.
Kyle O'Kyle.
That's
Kyle
fine.
O'Kyle is here. I got halfway there and was like, wait, and my mind is breaking down. I have jet lag.
O'Connor. It's all right.
This is James O'Faulkner. James is here.
Oh, yeah,
Happy
okay.
birthday,
James.
James Faulkner.
You're 4. I'm 4. I'm a child.
You're basically a baby. Brian O'Albert is here.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm here. Yes. It's not my birthday.
It's not your birthday.
Soon.
When is your birthday?
November 17th.
November 17th. Okay. We'll have to. Oh, we should do like a Dota event for your birthday.
Absolutely.
We should win the recreational for your birthday.
All
God,
right,
I hope the recreational's over by then. Yeah, we have a good show this week. We have lots to talk about. We have some follow-up to last week's discussion with these fine gentlemen who piloted the show alone in the it was a romantic episode, I'd say.
It was.
Fireside chat.
It was sweet.
As you call
Pretty
it.
good,
It was
yeah.
intimate.
Rest in peace, 6.82.
Yeah, 6.8.
We loved you.
We'll get there. But first, major changes to League of Legends coming into the World's
I was right.
Championships. Really?
It was Sion.
Yeah.
It was Sion.
Yeah. Who did you think
call
it
it?
was?
He was right.
No, I was right.
Oh, wait.
I guessed it was Sion.
Oh, yeah. That's.
Oh, I don't know what you guessed. I'm deeply confused.
I didn't know what the alternatives would have been.
Was there like a lead up to this? Like
Yeah.
somebody's getting a rework?
Yeah, yeah. It was like
okay, cool.
Reborn. And
All
it
right.
was like this epic. It was really good.
Is this the guy you showed me who does the Spear
He's
Breaker
Spear
kind of
Breaker
stuff?
charge, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He
Is
sounds
that-
great.
Okay,
So-
so I'm assuming you guys already have the equipment.
I have like a loose idea. So basically, explain to me as though you would explain to somebody who knows nothing, and or a child. What is the Sion update?
He got a huge rework. I never played
Okay.
him before. He's like.
Was he bad?
He was an original champion.
Yeah,
That's really interesting to me,
Oh.
by the way. Let's jump to that later.
that I've never
The
played
idea
him.
that there are original champions who now don't fit with the new ones and
Yeah.
need changes.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Ooh, that
they're-
could be a good episode topic
Yeah.
later too.
their tool set needed to get reworked. His, I didn't know it beforehand because I didn't play him. I just always heard, garbage, not very good. Some people said you always had those hipsters who were like, he's really good. You just have to be good at the game. But
He was always like I have a stun and I run up next to you and my shield explodes and you take a bunch of damage. He
Yeah.
wasn't like. There was no counterplay. There was no like ups and downs. It was just stun and then I run.
There was a
next
way
to you.
that you play that guy.
Yeah.
So he was like
Okay.
the epitome of Riot, figuring it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
got it. Okay.
Exactly. And now he's like this huge, like an unstoppable, like undead general juggernaut. His ultimate is awesome. You guys equated it to
Spear Breaker.
yeah. So it basically just builds and builds momentum until he hits a champion and then he
And
stuns
it's global,
him.
right? Like you can target any enemy on the
Or
map
wall.
and just sprint to them.
Yeah, or a wall. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
So it has like momentum basically.
Yeah, so it looks like you drag the vector line and he keeps moving forward, and it looks like you can turn it. I haven't got a chance to use it.
Wow.
I'm not too
and
sure.
It keeps on going faster and faster. I think it has a set
Yeah.
duration that you can get.
Oh.
I'm sure he has a max speed.
Well, I was reading on discussions on the forums. They were like, yeah, you can do it from basically across the map.
Oh.
So I don't know
No,
if
but,
there's a duration limit.
I thought I thought otherwise, but yeah, if that's insane because you'd be like, you're at your base and you're like, oh, I got home guards and I need to get into a team fight, pop my ult, and it's like, and just
my
take
God.
off.
Okay.
That'd be amazing. Yeah,
I
and
love
then-
that.
And he has a passive on one of his abilities that when he kills a unit, he just gains permanent max health.
Oh God, I didn't
What?
know
He
that.
Yeah.
kills a hero?
No, a unit.
What? How much health?
I don't know.
It's probably not a whole lot.
I don't know. He's still on the
It
test
has
realms.
to
I haven't
scale
been
from
on the
heroes too, right?
Probably.
That would be. That's
There's so much about him I
insane.
don't know. I want to get my hands on him, but then he's still got the
Is he
the
ADC?
blood shield. No, he's a tank.
Oh.
But I was reading that he does fairly well in the jungle.
Yeah, he
Great.
He
So
has,
his CS will be through the roof, and his health will be through the roof. And
on
yeah,
the PBE,
I'll
he had
be
the
sad.
second fastest clear time of any champion currently.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
And that wasn't even optimized yet. That was like people just like testing it out. It was stupidly fast.
He has a
Okay.
move like he plants his feet and it charges up and it does like a cone strike on the ground and anything caught in it gets stunned. So
And knocked up, yeah.
yeah.
And so that is his Q.
yeah.
So that's basically what you use when you're in your clear. And then he still has a shield.
Yeah, he has a shield that'll, like generate, and then you can either detonate it or after a certain time it'll explode and do damage. But he's also got this thing where he
Abaddon.
dies. When he dies,
We have to like convert. This is like we're like interpreters for each other. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Brian, this is a lot like that other thing
Yeah.
you and I
Sonic Shield,
understand.
yes.
Yeah.
he's got this.
What Dota guy is he?
Yeah,
That's
you got to
the
always
League of
equate
Legends
it. Yeah,
topic.
like he's got this passive where when he dies, he comes back full health and does extra damage, and it like slowly generates like
Oh my god.
So kind of like Wraith King in a way.
little
but
bit.
like,
As a passive?
yeah.
yeah, as a passive.
How long is it after every death he gets more?
I'm assuming it has a cooldown. Like,
Yeah, it's probably got a cooldown. Like, you couldn't just, like, die, and every time he dies, he's going to...
It would probably be balanced out, too, right? Like, if it's, okay, you die, you come back with this bonus, you should probably just charge in with your ult to make use of it before it's gone.
Yeah, just book it straight into the...
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I'm not sure how I feel. Like, I don't know, and this might just be because, hey, I'm a Dota guy, and I don't play a lot of League of Legends, but Spirit Breaker, his map traversal is so core to who that character is. Like, the ultimate for Sion is... like an essential part of how you get around as Spirit Breaker is what makes you useful. It's really interesting to see this as his ultimate.
Oh, yeah. I think it's just to tie in with the whole, the unstoppable juggernaut. Like, nothing can get in its way.
Unless you, like, throw a stun at him and he's like, oh, I'm stopped.
And it's also, I think, if it was any other skill, it would be overpowered just because, like you want to have a certain, like, power spike.
Yeah.
And for a lot of champions, that comes at 6.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, some have it before, some are early game champions. But I feel like, his kit, like, you can't really gank lanes without that.
No,
You'd have to walk in, and the charge up is so long. It's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, stun.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah,
Man.
when he plants and stuff.
But
Oh, wow.
he can, like prematurely, like, activate, I think, but it's not as long or doesn't...
Oh, yeah, like, he could just quickly do it, but then the stun duration is shorter based on how long he took to charge it up.
So again, the equations here. Spirit Breaker can sort of like charge and gank on his own because his ultimate is like this crazy bash, and then his passive is a bash, and like he can just go off and wreck things.
He basically charges in and makes
Is this going to be like, hey, I'm coming in, but like I need your help to get this kill?
No, I'm pretty sure he's a game. Like, he can make...
solo.
Even with that really slow stun, where you're like...
Well, because you
rearing
can...
up?
When you hit the person with your ult, they get knocked up. So he could, like, knock them up and then stun them as they come down.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And like, proc his shield as he's running in.
Yeah.
And so it's like his shield will start building and then it will explode and then like so you'll have like a little bit of burst at the beginning and then a little bit more sustained damage.
The stun reminds me a little bit of Leshrac, who in Dota is like this space goat. And his stun is, I mean, he's basically like, he's a goat who looks like the cosmos. His stun is basically like he rears up and he smashes the ground, but it's like, it is a long lead up and then he hits it and it spikes up underneath him. Those kill me. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just hit him.
The anticipation is worse
It's
than
so
actually
brutal.
what happens. He also has Savage Roar, which is weird. Like, if it hits a champion, I believe it like stuns or reduces their damage. But if it hits a minion, it'll knock the minion through everything behind it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't...
It does a little bit of damage. You can kind of use it to... It's, I think, mainly used for, like, I would say top lane.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Like, so that, like, you have a little bit of range poke, so you can, like, basically knock them back and use that to damage someone that's kind of far away.
The creep becomes a projectile.
Yeah,
pretty much.
basically.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Syndra can do that as well. She'll pick someone up and toss them. But that's the only... I don't know about Dota. I don't know if Dota does anything like
Tiny.
that.
There's someone who tosses.
Tiny just throws dudes at other dudes, and it's the best.
That's awesome.
We love Tiny.
Yeah. Again, he'll probably be released probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Wait, is he not out?
No, he's
Oh, I
only
guess
on the
it's an
test
update,
roam.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
He's only on the test roam. I really want to
So
get my
he still
hands
kind
on
of sucks
him.
right now.
Kind of sucks, you said?
Yeah, like the original version just doesn't fit with what League is doing now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's just-
yeah.
That's why he needed the rework.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
it.
and they've been doing this for a while. They did it with Twitch. They've done it for...
Reworks. Cassiopeia got a rework with Shurima.
Oh my god, yeah, her I think we talked about her passive where it's just more and more stacks
Yeah.
of poison.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm liking all the reworks. I think it's good. I think having a game as a platform that's constantly evolving and changing and just improving is never bad.
Is it mainly that these older champs had like one way to play them, and now that's why they're changing?
Kind
Or
of, yeah. Or like
what's going
in
on
the meta, it doesn't really fit very well. There's no, it's like you talk about value where you want someone on your team who provides value in a sense of like what can they add, what can they do in a team fight, how can they help your squishies, and I don't think Sion had very much besides his stun and his AOE shield.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, again, we've always talked about the League is going the mobility route. It's
Yeah.
like, it's all like, every single champion has, for the most part, has mobility.
Fast, either dashes, speed increases, teleports, like everyone has it. And it's all about mobility, and then now player-created landscape is pretty big.
Yep.
Brian and James, you both covered a lot of 6.82 last episode, namely the Phantom Lancer rework, the Bloodseeker rework, very similar to what Sion saw in League of Legends. I don't know. A week later, how are you guys feeling about the Rekindling Soul update? Now that 6.82B is out, God.
It's been
Brian, you
weird.
had your time in the sun.
I know. I miss it. It was amazing when they released 6.82. There was a a best of 3 going on, in a pro best of 3 game going on,
Okay.
and game 1 had just been won, and then the
update.
Game 2 was the update.
Game 2 was the update, and one of the supports, they were losing badly, and one of the supports got a kill on an enemy carry and got like 2,500 gold, which is huge in Dota.
insane.
And he's like, "This can't be right. Like, I have a memechanism now."
It's a full item, like mid-game item.
It'd be getting like 1,000
Yeah.
or 1,000, like 1,500 in the league.
Yeah, it's like getting like a needlessly large rod or something. Yeah,
It's amazing. Like, I really loved it because the comebacks were crazy. Like, there are some players who will just dominate a whole game, and if they die, they'll have a streak and they'll lose the gold streak or whatever, and it sucks. But now it was like, if you look at the golden XP graphs, it was like
it was nothing but spikes, because every kill, because anybody who got a streak, right, like if you got a triple kill or whatever, your bounty was massive, and anybody who killed you would get this enormous amount of gold based on the new formula they had implemented for 682
and experience. So basically, it was going off of your level and your
net worth.
Your net worth. It changed the formula, and if someone got a kill on you, if you're that far ahead, it would factor in all those things and give you a payout basically based on how far ahead they were.
It was this very weird math.
How do you guys feel about it? Do you think it's bad?
So when it came out, there was a lot of controversy. We played with this one guy who was very, very good, and he was of the mind that this is not fair, because if I'm dominating, I'm being punished for it because I'm getting less gold for my kills. Then if somebody kills me once, they get this massive payout, and they can get an item, and then they can totally, like, the swings were huge. And the gold and XP graph were almost identical the entire time, right? Like, you look at them, and it's like huge spike, massive drop, huge spike, massive drop. And with 6.82, which is the new update, 6.82b, they kind of rounded out that formula. So the way it works now is you actually get less money the more people you kill. Like, so, I mean, this has always been the case, but it's a lot more drastic. So if you get 1 kill, you make X amount of money plus the net worth and level. If you get 5 kills, that money drops way lower than it used to be. So if you get 1 kill, you might get like 500 gold. If you get a rampage and get all 5 kills, you might get like 1,500 gold.
It seems like there's no subtlety right now. Like 6.82 was this massive, like, okay, we want people to never feel like they're out of the game, and then people like complaining, and Valve's like, all right, hold on, now
we'll fix it.
Went all the way back to the
and
other
I feel
side.
like I've been beating this nonstop. I feel like everything with 6.82 so far is an overcorrection in both directions. It's like, oh no, sorry, we'll throw it way back that way. Okay, cool, we fixed that. Now it's behind us. Nobody look back. Are you angry? Bring it back. We'll put it over here. I don't know. I feel like the 6.82b update, which was purely the math update, it was like the algebra update where they just fixed the gold. I feel like now I haven't played too many games with that particular update, but it was enough to go like, all right, this feels
noticeable,
like good. It feels even now. Like we can win a team fight and not feel like, all right, it's over, goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna throw one other thing out there. My favorite thing in the 6.82 update is ranked all pick.
Oh, it's so good.
It works the best.
It's kind of a fusion of like a captain's mode. I don't know what it is in the league. Is it the same thing? Is there an equivalent to captain's mode? Interpreter James.
Yeah, there is, right?
Yeah. Captain's mode. I don't know what.
Whatever.
Captain's
So
mode
anyway,
is.
in all pick,
it's there are picks and bans.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in ranked all pick, there are no bans. It's basically you start out and there's like a 30, 45 second strategy period.
Yep.
And then each team alternates 1 pick.
Okay.
So your team picks 1, my team
draft
picks
pick.
1.
Basically,
actually.
but without,
Okay.
without bans.
Okay.
So we never used to play ranked at all. I don't think we have ever queued for ranked, except as like
A few times,
our
but-
tournament team. Let's try and get our MMR. That was it. But as like a party in all pick, maybe a few times, but I don't have a party MMR. Now we're like 1 game away from that for me.
Yeah, people would wait until the 0 second mark, and if it hit 0, not everyone, the person who didn't pick would start losing gold.
Oh wow.
But it's not very much gold, so they would just wait and see what the other team picked, and then try to pick
And then
counters.
counterpick.
Oh, okay.
And that happened most games, like three or four games.
Like
that
if you
would
picked
happen.
a character before 10 seconds, that was weird.
You
like,
lost.
It was so strange
Yep.
because
Yeah,
they would
just
just
get counterpicked.
And
all
yeah,
now-
they would alt tab counterpick.com
and
and
ranked all
then
pick does that now. It stops that, and if they don't pick their hero when the time hits 0, everyone on that team loses 2
That
gold.
rhymed.
It ticks.
By the way,
There we go.
That was pretty magical. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. He said, "Don't pick hero before it hits 0." Sorry, guys.
So
rapper
was on a
Brian
horrible-
O'Alward
Yeah.
coming soon.
I was on a horrible losing streak in Dota. Started playing some ranked all pick. Won my last 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Let's get 7 more to fill out that 1 page so it's
Let's
just
do it.
all wins.
All green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys were mentioning about the gold balancing. I know I'm bringing it back a subject or two, but like I feel like this is kind of becoming a trend with MOBAs and competitive games where it's like they want to stop people from snowballing or carrying the team. Like Heroes of the Storm doesn't have gold, right?
Yeah.
It's just
and all the XP is shared.
Yeah,
everybody gets everything.
It's like appealing to the common denominator, the casuals in the crowd who aren't going to carry a team and who are going to cry about losing that hard.
Yeah, and I feel like Dota isn't. It's obviously not like of Heroes of the Storm level of casual, but it is getting a little more accessible, where it doesn't feel as punishing to play and lose. Personally, I feel like if we lost a team fight, we were like, oh man, that was brutal, but let's get back into it. Yeah, whereas it used to be if you lost one, you lost like 2 towers, and it was
GG surrender at 20.
It was just over, which you can't do in Dota.
Oh, God.
The most frustrating thing is losing to a team that had one amazing player, and the rest were just like, okay.
Yeah, that's carried by...
Exactly, but now it's... Usually that one person... You can take them down if you all focus together. You might not win the team fight, but you'll take down that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that bounty was massive, and it helped you get back.
Right,
in the
like
game.
you could trade 4 guys and then get your carry, his butterfly.
Right. So of course, the probably the best person that we've played with, who's Crispy, who does that. He frequently carries the team that way. He does really well and he gets a bunch of kills, but he's also kind of YOLO about how he plays.
Very much so, yeah.
And so he'll dive in and die, and of course this is bad for him.
He plays like weird, like, I'm going to play a mid-support, but build a bunch of aggressive items on him and dive tower. Like, okay, dude. And he wins.
Fit perfectly for how I play, because usually I end up with like a pretty good KD, but I'm also, maybe to a fault, not as aggressive, and I'll play safely. And
Conservative play.
I'll often have 0 or like 2 deaths.
Yeah.
And so I like this.
Yeah.
But now things have changed. So
the trade-off with that is like we're always like, yeah, we got him, guys. What do we do? I don't know. Let's not worry about the towers, though. yeah. Like, we never know what to do after we win a team fight. We're always paralyzed. Like, what just happened?
What happened? We're not dead.
We did it? Oh, they're all back. Every time. And that's less of a concern now. Like, I feel like now you gain enough control to feel powerful in 682, but not enough that you feel like you have won already. So you really do have to make a decision. Be like, all right, the next thing we do is going to be valuable, because being able to fortify a tower and make it invincible and then regaining that fortify the instant your tier 1 goes down is pretty huge. Like that, and having the armor buff on tier 2 tower means that, like, okay, we got them, but they have the fortify, they have the added armor. We might not take this tower.
So I have not a weird question, but you were at the very beginning of this subject. We talked about the game that happened. So game 1 was on one patch, game 2 was on another patch. I don't understand why they didn't play. Like, why they didn't play on an old patch. Like I don't get why that's not a thing. Like
it's a forced update.
Yeah, but like you shouldn't be forced to play on a new patch immediately when you haven't practiced it. You haven't
definitely not on a pro scene.
Yeah, like on the pro scene that immediately should be like, okay,
series on hold.
A series on hold, like or like you give them more time to practice on that. So this is a completely different subject, but that's a huge okay, you completely change the way the game is played.
Yeah.
Between 2 games.
Change the rule set.
At the same time, I feel like Dota and MOBAs in general is about adapting or failing. Everything about these games is about improvisation. If you're not figuring it out on the fly, and this is obviously like a bigger, grander subject, but if you, even in the middle of a game, if you're not adapting to what somebody's doing, which is why in our recreational tournament, like, we won our game because the other team wouldn't adapt to what we were doing. Like, we would take them in a fight and then spread out and take towers, and they would still just come down the mid lane. They didn't adapt. We won.
Yeah, but in a competitive scene, I feel like they just need to have an understanding of the patch and practice. Like in League, they play like 2 or 3 patches behind. Because they're this is what everyone has practiced. This one everyone knows.
That's kind of cool.
So we can have the highest caliber
play at
that moment, rather than no one understands once the patch is going on. Understands it quite yet.
But the game felt sort of like the All-Star match at TI4. Sort of
where everyone's just scrambling and dicking
everyone
around.
was just talking to each other. They're like, "This happened. That's weird, right?" Like, it was just chatter.
Yo, y'all see this new ward spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's especially with something as drastic as 682, where new characters are in, new characters are out of captain's mode. There are new routes in the map. There are new ward locations. Yep. The map design has changed. There's an additional rune that gives you money and experience that kind of tilts it into a certain character's favor if they pick it up. Like, all of these things are significant factors that drastically affect the game they're playing. It is like, the way I phrased this before is like, this is almost a different game. For me, this got me excited, like them announcing Dota 3 is out today.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the great thing about Mobas is that they can have those drastic changes. I just feel like, again, you
Shouldn't do it.
You need a ruling body that like is like, or at least the tournament body, or like I don't even know if you can do tournament realms like you can do in League.
Right.
Like you need something to be like someone be like, no, wait, hold on, like this isn't.
Well, we talked about that for our tournament too. Is like, do we roll back? Like, how do we have everybody play on 681? I don't know. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah, and ours is like so unprofessional
It's
and
such garbage. It's
yeah,
the best.
But yeah, and that's great about our tournament. But like, yeah, like I wouldn't want to see like, say they nerf Dendy's champions and then Dendy's like, well, I don't know what. Oh, excuse me.
Whoops! Somebody's got to edit that out.
It's your birthday. You're fine.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
I'm gonna timestamp that at 23:57. Carry on.
Like, well, I don't know what champions to play now. Like
Yeah.
like that's. I don't think that's fair to the players. I don't think that's fair to the fans. Like,
And
it's fun to watch because you're like, oh, that's funny, but it's like, and if you're watching it because you want to see people be competitive and are good at the game.
Well, it's Star Ladder, which is one of the bigger tournaments.
Yeah.
So there's a significant prize pool for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are paying for compendiums and everything.
Yeah, and so like if your team gets
That just sounds poorly
knocked out.
thought out to me. Like it shouldn't just be in the middle of a series.
At the same time, they couldn't have seen it coming because Valve is like so insanely like Riot is up front like, hey, we're doing this.
yeah
Valve says, it's out.
yeah
And suddenly the map is different and the characters are different and everything you're doing is different. How do we do this?
What do you feel is better? You feel like being that candid and transparent with your changes coming is better?
Yes.
Or, yeah,
Yes, I do.
yeah.
I would love to know what's happening with Dota before it's out.
Yeah. Be able to prepare.
yeah, but I also feel like it's Valve's philosophy just to be like, well, this is also just kind of testing because we don't know. Because like who is testing that stuff? Like it got announced and it was on a test server for like a day and a half, and then they're like, all right, it's done, like it's out, and you're like, I don't feel like you did that much testing. I don't think you gave that big of a data size to actually like know. Oh, this is okay to put out to the general public.
Case in point, 5 days later they changed something huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of testing, what happened with Azir when Azir got released, it was like immediately just disabled.
Yep,
Because
really?
He
Wow.
His testing of it was probably not thorough enough, but he was like game breaking, like absolutely definition of game breaking. If you used his ultimate on the tower, it disabled the tower completely. Like completely.
I did not know about that.
How did nobody try that?
I don't know. Like, so the logic is because his ultimate pushes minions and champions away. It pushed the tower's AI out of the tower, so it would just not shoot at you
What?
anymore. Yeah.
So
No way.
So
I shared it on my Twitter. I was like,
That's
"This
amazing.
is ridiculous."
So yeah, the League has some weird things where like Jarvan's ultimate ick is another thing that can create terrain.
yeah.
Jarvan sounds like such a fake name.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
carry
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Sorry, his
I'm
name is
Jarvan.
Jarvan
He's
the
right
fourth.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Dragon Knight. I
Yeah.
thought that was just a Dragon Knight set.
His
Jarvan.
his ultimate, which creates basically like rock arena around around people, kind of like Legion.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can was coded as minions. Like the terrain around it was coded as minions.
Oh man.
Why?
And it was, I don't know.
As
like,
opposed to okay.
again, they did this leftover stuff from like early on and like how they built League because he was an early champion.
What a weird engine they use.
Yeah.
They've got to change that tech, man.
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
That engine is like 10 years old.
And then they've been slowly like making changes so it doesn't happen. But there were like,
Of course.
there were just weird interactions that you could have with that wall where you could like push someone through it when you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
And it was like, again, there's just weird interactions where people were like, that engine is super weird.
That is so good. I love that.
Yeah, there's some broken stuff that'll probably get fixed in Dota. Did you see? So Bloodseeker got a complete rework, and one of his abilities, you put it on a hero, and that hero deals and takes 40% more damage in all forms. And so when you have Zeus, who can Zeus ult and call down thunderbolts to hit anyone on the map anywhere,
No matter where they are, it hits them.
and now
for
he's doing
X
40%
damage.
more damage. So he casts it, refresher orbs to reset all his skills, casts it again.
Does he still have that buff?
That buff's still on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's an instant rampage at all times.
He got effortless ultra kills.
I might be trying to cheese the system too much, but can you stack that buff? Could you refresh your orb and put the buff on the same person?
No, because it's
It
not
would
his
reset the
ultimate.
duration of it. But it
Refresher
wouldn't
is
double
only Refresher only gives you the ultimate.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
if Bloodseeker casts it, like that's not his ultimate. He can only do it
Oh, okay.
once.
I didn't understand that.
My other favorite broken thing about the patch, or not even maybe broken, but was Bloodseeker's speed boost. They created like 40 meepos on the other
That was
two.
so good.
And he got so fast that he was literally a blur like running around the entire map. He get
10,000 movement speed.
Yeah,
is the
he
max.
gets end to end on the map in like under a second.
So the average movement speed of a character in Dota is like when you start at like 300. So that's like, you know, League of Legends character movement speed. You get boots, you're a little bit faster.
Yeah.
This is multiplied by that by like actually 500.
Oh my god.
It was so dumb. It was like the Roche. Or did you link the Roche bug? Who linked the Roche bug?
Oh yeah, so you can pull. Imagine being able to pull Baron Nashor out of his pit, and then put down a pile of trees so that he can't get back in. So at that point, the AI goes, "Okay, I need to figure out how to get back in my pit," and just starts wandering and roaming. But the AI isn't aggressive because it's trying to just get home.
Yeah.
Like the aggro is off and it's just roaming. So the Nature's Prophet in this video we saw like follows the Roshan, breaks down a tree. Roshan like wanders into this forest, and then he just puts more trees up, locks Roshan in. He goes, "Yeah, this'll do," and he just stops in the woods.
And so you can hide him in this corner, and then you can. I don't know if it aggroes once he's in that corner, but you can just sit there like pinging him down from like because you can see him, and you're just like, all right.
I would just love to do that, and then wait for an enemy team to come to my tower and be like,
Yeah.
"Be free, Roshan!"
Just let him loose on the just let him loose on the enemy team.
Like, how terrifying! What the? What? Where did you come from? You crazy dinosaur man!
Chen gets another buff. Can
Can now control Roshan
Roshan.
because
Oh,
he's
God.
not powerful enough.
Yeah,
Good God.
there's some broken stuff. Along with, we forgot to mention that Dire Tide is canceled.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger disappointments for me with 682. Dire Tide, Kyle, is this is good. I like this because it's constantly like, so Kyle.
All right,
Dire
Kyle,
Tide.
we'll explain it to you.
So Dire Tide every year, and if you don't know, watching or listening, Dire Tide is the annual Halloween event. Typically happens end of October, beginning mid-November. It's kind of like Shurima. It's a big event. It's new gameplay. Typically comes with a larger update, stuff like that. Last year there was some drama. Valve was not clear about it being canceled, but they didn't do one last year. That caused a ton of problems with the community. This year, up front, with 682, they said, we are not doing Dire Tide at all this year. And here's why. And they spelled out, like, listen, there's going to be some bigger updates at the end of the year. There's going to be a massive update at the beginning of next year. So, no Dire Tide. We're focusing our energy on those two big things.
And last year there was a large controversy because they weren't communicative, very typical of Valve.
Yeah.
That it wasn't happening, and so people were like just spamming all the Twitch streams and like all the subreddit was just like, give Dire Tide, give Dire Tide, give Dire Tide.
Yeah, it's
Volvo, please.
Yeah.
Volvo, please. So this brings up two important things for me. One, I think this means that Frostivus is going to be amazing. I think that their winter event, which they do every year, typically is like, Frostivus is happening, guys. And then in the fiction of Dota, it's like you go to the webpage every day and something is happening. Like things are messed up, things are missing, scratch marks are on the board where the Frostivus ad was. And you're like, what's going on? And Frostivus is canceled because little Greevils have showed up to mess up everything. Or it's Wraith Night now because they had a character change tied to that event. There are things like that. Like Frostivus as an event is always canceled. God, I hope they just do Frostivus this year. Yep. How good would it be if they're like, the winter event this year is Frostivus, and you're expecting it to be canceled in favor of something new, and no, it's just Frostivus. And we get to see what Frostivus is. I don't know. I'm excited for the winter update because typically that comes with last year with Wraith Night, which is what their winter event was called. It was part of it was a changeover. They were changing the Skeleton King character into the Wraith Knight or the Wraith King. Something about skeletons and China. Just wasn't working out, so they had to change the character model. But they made a fiction thing
so many
around
questions.
it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
So
I
many
think it was
questions.
China, like something about.
It was multiple reasons. It was overlap with Blizzard's like
Yeah,
With
copyright.
King Lyric or
Yeah, it was a bunch. It was a bunch
yeah,
of stuff,
yeah.
and then in China you can't show bones like protruding
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like
bodies.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how Lifestealer gets away with it.
Yeah, there.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the whole thing was like they introduced this wave-based mode, and these like, was there like a new item, or they changed
new
some
items?
skills? Like there was all sorts of stuff. And then I don't know. We've talked about this on the show before, but
Yeah.
like they took that away, and it's gone forever.
Oh yeah. We talked about bringing
Yeah.
game modes back. Yeah.
6.82 added a new item called the Crimson Guard, and that was in Wraith Night last year.
No, it was in the Year Beast update, wasn't it? I thought it was Year Beast.
It was one of the two.
Yeah, one of them.
Anyway, it was an item in one of those updates, and it went away.
I love in-game events.
Me too. And this
Every-
is my other point, is like these are so important to the life cycle of these games. Like MOBAs as platforms, and you mentioned this earlier,
Yeah.
having just character updates is huge. But having, in a game where it's like, there's not going to be a sequel, and new characters are exciting, but you need to do something that things are breaking at IGN. Something's falling
throwing a
over.
fit.
You need to do something to extend the life cycle and get people excited and to come back and play those new characters. That isn't just, what's the same game? The same good game you love is the same. Cool. Which is fine. Like, I love Dota, and we all love Dota and League of Legends, and we play those games a lot. But having an event like Dire Tide or Frostivus or Shurima guarantees, like, oh, man, there's a cool thing going on. Let's go play it.
Yeah.
And I think that might be actually kind of the reason why the gameplay modes that come with those go away.
Yeah, it becomes less special. Like if it's there always. Like again, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure Shurima took a bunch of work, but I don't think it like. It was like, all right, we have a map. We're adding some new particles. We're adding like a thing that makes you huge and gives you like different stats.
Mm-hmm.
But it would enable them to be like, hey, check out this fresh new thing.
Yeah.
Like we're able to like you're able to take a break from ranked and all the stuff. Like the game is fun with all the modes, but yeah, just take a break.
Every now and then you just need to shake things up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, certain ones of them are just they don't have the staying power to where it would constitute the time invested in keeping it alive versus the satisfaction from the audience. You know, at least that's how I feel. Things like the ultra rapid fire mode, hexakill mode, I think should have stayed. But you know, Shurima, Ascension mode, it was all right. I wouldn't be upset if it didn't make a reappear.
Yeah, and part of it I think is like you have these big events and they're special in the moment, and then for us, like if all four of us queue into one of those games, awesome, we had that experience that was special to us, and moving on, we go back to playing our game as it is. Meaning, one, there's value in the fact that we played that and nobody else did, or people who are coming in fresh haven't yet. It's like, man, we had that. It was awesome. That was special to us. Two, I think that people just wouldn't queue into something like Ascension or Wraith Knight right now. Like, if it's not part of an event, why would anybody queue into it? You'd spend 30 minutes in a queue not knowing that there was literally nobody else in the world queuing for it.
Player base.
Right. So, in having it tied to a major event, you actually make it not only special for the players, but it guarantees like you're funneling people into it by having like specific rewards tied to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, you want it to be stressful. Like there shouldn't be like this like yeah you're competing. There's still like one team is gonna win, or actually it's like even in Wraith Knight it was like PvE, which was something new. Like but you want it where it's like low committal. It's not gonna affect your record. It's like, it's just there to.
It's
like,
fun.
You don't have to spend another X amount of hours learning it. It's just like just go do it.
Yep. You have these skills. We tweaked a few things. Go have fun with this new mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MMOs are really good at that. They will
Yes.
hit every holiday.
Yes.
Like
World of
clockwork every
Warcraft,
year.
man. God, I could name them. Winter's Veil, like Noble Garden. You could just go on forever.
Yep, keeps going.
Guild Wars 1, I think, is still doing them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
EverQuest is certainly still doing them. It's crazy.
I like it. It's crazy, and it's definitely fun, and it also gives you like those water cooler moments with people you know our games. Like, oh, hey, did you do that Winterfell's quest? Did you get that cool item? Like,
it also sort of coincides with like time that people take time off from work.
Yeah.
They can actually stay home and play this game for a while.
Got interesting content while I have time off.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Valve is starting to like, I don't know, year one of Dota. I think when it was in beta, they didn't have a Year Beast thing. They didn't have a Chinese New Year event, but they've always had Dire Tide and they've always had Frostivus. Those are the two that are kind of reliable. But as time goes on, Valve is experimenting with new events tied to different times, and I think that expecting those annually is a little unrealistic every time. Like, it's a lot of work to put those updates in, plus to make new characters, plus to make massive patches like 682, plus to redesign the maps, stuff like that. But it's all very interesting, and I think as time goes on, it's going to be in 2016, we're going to go like, man, are we getting Dire Tide this year? Are we getting Frostbite? Are we getting Year Beast? Are we getting something new? Like, we just don't know, but I think we're going to get to a point where we're going to have quarterly updates like that.
Yeah, and again, it's Valve, so who knows how many resources they're putting towards all this stuff.
Sure.
Because, like, again, they could just be like, half their team would be like, I don't want to work on Dota anymore.
Yeah.
And they don't have to.
Yeah.
Like one, because they have the money, but two, because of the way that their company is built. They can work on what they want to work on.
Yeah. Versus Riot, which is a company that almost exclusively works on League of Legends. Presumably they're doing other stuff, like whether, I don't know, they would be silly not to have like TV shows in production or something like that. Or
oh man,
having
if they
new
had an
games in
animated
pre-pro.
series based
Right.
off, did you see the? Oh my God, I forgot the name of the
Warriors.
No, the Warriors music video was amazing. Did you guys watch that?
I did not.
Oh,
I
man.
thought you were talking about the 1970s flick.
No.
Man, what a good movie.
They Imagine Dragons wrote a song for the LCS. It was a good video and it was a good song. But the other one,
was it the anime
the
one?
CGI one.
Oh.
It was like Darius was in it, Leona was in
Oh
it.
yeah. The one that you and I watched at TI4.
The New Dawn or something like that.
New Dawn, that
was
was it. Yeah, if they had a show with all the characters like done in that style, I'd watch that.
Oh my god, a Blur TV show would be so amazing, but the most expensive thing in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
It'd be so great though.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, with Saturday morning cartoons going away, that's. I mean, of course, it'd be.
I mean, what it would be is a 2-minute episode. It'd be like Adventure
YouTube.
Time YouTube series.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
wishful
Dota
thinking.
events are pretty cool.
Valve's even
more, please.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yes.
Valve's doing a good job at probably making money off of them, because for the Year Beast they had like sort of, Chinese themed outfits for so many heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the
and for
community
Wraith
made
Night, they
Chinese
had-
New Year
You
themed
could
stuff.
buy those like crystals
were
or whatever
they?
it was.
Yeah, it was like
Arena?
a experience multiplier
Something
thing
like
or
that.
something.
Yeah, like
I don't remember. Clearly, it was special in our hearts.
Yes.
That we remember these details
Oh, I
so
bought a bunch
fondly.
of them.
So did I. Because I wanted so much stuff out of that.
I like skins. Like you're talking about the Chinese theme skins. I spend just an embarrassing amount of money. On
How much money have you
skins.
spent on League of Legends?
Oh,
We might have
Jesus.
gone over this before, but
Easily over $100.
yeah, me too. Same with Dota.
Easily, it's probably an embarrassing number.
There's a way in Steam to see how much you've spent. I think the
I can
last
look at
time,
my purchase
yeah, the
history.
last time I went, it was like $150,
If
which
you're
was about $300 less than I thought I had spent.
If you're not watching the video, Brian is like
Head in hand.
trying to like hide his face from the camera.
He's just repressing
Spend
the
way
shame.
too much money or what? I don't know.
All right, that's okay. That's an answer. Let's move on and answer a reader mail.
Emails.
Emails. We only have one this week. We asked for emails. We got one email. You can email us at ign-arena-podcast@ign.com. Alternatively, we might start. I don't know. I'm gonna start mining the YouTube comments for discussion topics, which is a dangerous territory.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel
terrible.
like most of the people who watch the show are pretty good people.
Yeah.
So if you want to have discussions, youtube.com/ign-arena, subscribe, comment, whatever you need to do. I'm going to experiment with this, but your best line of contact to us is arena-podcast@ign.com. That goes straight to all of our inboxes. We get your letters, we read them, and we'll bring them on the show for good topics. Suggest topics, send questions, whatever you need to do. James writes in, and
What?
basically, not you, not James O. Faulkner. James writes in, basically saying that tutorials are awful for the most part in
Yes.
MOBAs, and we've talked a little bit about this, right? Like in Dota, you have like a last hit guide that's like, hey, get 10 last hits with sniper or whatever, or destroy this tower. And you get the general idea of like, oh man, okay, I need to hide behind creeps and I need to shoot those guys. But what they don't tell you is, hey, don't right-click your lane because you're going to push it up too far, you're going to be too close to the tower, get them XP. Like the finer details are just completely gone in tutorials. James asks, what would you put in a tutorial for Dota 2 or League of Legends to make it more, for new players looking to understand this game and not just the basics? Because the basics in these tutorials are fine. Got it. Click stuff, they die. So far, so good. Buy some items. Cool. Mm-hmm. But the finer details, what would you add to these games to improve the tutorials and communicate better to players?
Oh man, where to start?
Right?
Yeah,
Yep,
where
yep.
to start?
I've got some options too.
Okay.
Besides like the basics of like last hitting, stand behind the creeps. Like I would definitely teach people about vision control. That is so key to a good team game.
Yeah.
Like
You can almost play make a hide and seek mode.
yeah,
Like we're just like, okay,
I like that.
Hey, like maybe for League, hey, Rengar's coming. Put some wards down.
yeah, that would be cool. Like a hide and seek mode. Yeah, geez, like so many games have been thrown because people don't want to ward. Also, I don't know if you could put it in a game tutorial, but like if you could put in something like about like an attitude, like just keep in mind this is a game. If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be playing it. Like if you're raging so hard at everyone that you're like frothing at the mouth and like just can't even type straight, you should probably stop playing.
One of the Dota 2 tooltips now in the loading screens is everyone has bad games.
Yes.
Everyone makes mistakes. It's going to be okay.
Thank God, man. I wish they would put that in League because it's just like I've been on the receiving end of it. You just have a bad game. You mess up and it just snowballs. And like it just doesn't help. You have someone just haranguing you the whole time, just telling you how bad you are. If you could teach people that in the tutorial, like, it's all right. Bad games happen, move on, help your team. That would be amazing.
I'm the lost cause in that case because I just mute everybody when the game starts.
Yeah, when we
started
get
doing
into a
that.
game, Brian mutes everybody.
Yeah.
Out of habit, he did it to a team we were playing recreationally.
Yep, on
the
the
other day.
recreational, I was mute, and I was like, oh, wait, no, these guys are probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that to everyone. Like, the moment anything starts getting toxic, I'm like, mute, mute, mute. You're done.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
I feel like something to be more accommodating toward the lingo that is so popular. Like, I didn't realize the difference between a carry and a core until recently, and Brian had been like, all right, no, okay, here's the difference. This is what they do, and this is what they need. Having something in a tutorial that is like carry tutorial, support tutorial, and then explaining like, if you're gonna play a nuker like Lena, this is what that means. Like, even if it's text, if you over the character card, if you go like expand and show details of like, I don't know, if you go to like the various Dota 2 wikis on the internet, there's always like little bullet point lists of like, hey, real quick, you should know this, and this about this character. That would be amazing to have in client.
Oh, yeah.
So I could go to the hero library, click on like, oh, what's, Dragon Knight all about? Click, okay, he's super tanky, but he's got this, and I should know this, and yeah, okay, cool. Like, just having a quick hit list of things to know would be invaluable.
Yeah, like League has that to a point, and I think so does Dota. Like, they have the built-in guides per character, but
Right.
it's also like not accessible in a way that's like very upfront.
Right.
You can't do it in game.
I see like initiator, jungler. I'm like, I don't know what those mean
Yeah.
as a new player.
And then it gets outdated. Like at least
Very
for League,
true.
It gets outdated very quickly. Like, anytime a new patch hits, like, okay, well, you shouldn't be building. Well, this is wrong because you should be building IE, but like sometimes you shouldn't be building that item on that ADC anymore because of X, Y, and Z.
This guy doesn't need attack speed. He needs attack damage. Like, that's your priority. Like,
I think right up until Dota 2 changed the player cards or the character cards, Sven was still listed as a support, which he hasn't been for a number of years.
Yeah.
They need to add tutorials for the... So let's say I want to practice creep blocking. That's not a thing in League.
I
But
understand.
When the game starts and the creeps start coming out from your base, you dash back and forth in front of them so that when the creep equilibrium starts and you meet their creeps, it's closer to your tower and you're safer. That's tough to do, and there's no way to practice it without making a game and then just kind of like, okay, that one failed, I'll wait for the next wave or whatever. There needs to be a thing where you immediately hit reset and you're back at your tower and you're like, oh, this failed.
That'd be
Reset,
helpful, yeah.
back at your
Because
tower.
that's the thing. It's like, it's very difficult to make a system out of that, to say like, okay, block 10 creeps or make the creeps get here, because then you also have to instruct like, all right, what you need to do is like click in front of the main creep and then tap S over and over and over and click S, click S, click S, click S.
Creep stacking. There needs to be a creep stacking where you hit restart.
Oh, man,
and you're
yeah.
back.
The closest equivalent for League would be like freezing your lane. I don't know if you guys ever do that. It's just like basically killing minions at a pace slow enough to where the last minion doesn't die before the next wave comes. So they just end up staying in the same place within the lane.
And there's like even more complicated things where you use like you basically gather the aggro of every single minion and then walk into a bush to lose aggro, so that they focus, basically what they call focus on one minion, so they're all just focusing one minion at a time, rather than like spreading out the damage.
Right.
Yeah.
That stuff, like, I don't know how you do that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about very, not high level like pro play stuff, but like intermediate
It is intermediate
to
level stuff.
very strategic
Yeah.
things that are hyper specific to not only the genre but each game.
Like, the game will not teach you what junglers do or how to do it ever.
Sure.
Yes.
And some heroes, like Enigma, should be in the jungle.
Yes.
If you play that hero in lane, I mean, it works, but
Yeah. But he's not like, he's so much more beneficial and he gets bigger in the jungle. But it's also like, obviously it's per game basis, like Valve focusing on Dota. Like, it's not beneficial for them to do this because there are resources outside of the game. So they don't need to spend the money to make new systems, to design new tutorials, to add new things to the game, because this is a hardcore game. League of Legends is a hardcore game.
Oh, yeah.
People will adapt or they will quit. Most of them adapt because League has a ridiculous amount of players and Dota is growing exponentially. So whatever they're doing is obviously working. So I just don't think they feel the need to implement these systems.
And I feel like they do have like learning systems. Like, I feel like ARAM is the learning system. And I feel like, again, I still feel like they want you to play on Summoner's Rift. That is what they focus all of their balance on. But ARAM exists for you to just be like, all right, let's just play.
And Dota
It's
needs
teamfight
that.
mode.
It needs like a BS mode like that. And all random deathmatch is kind of that, but it's still not you know, I mean, you don't have enough time if you go into an all-random deathmatch. Like, you start as Faceless Void. You're like, oh, awesome, I get to learn some Faceless Void. You die 5 seconds later. You never unlock Chronosphere. You don't get to practice that hero in the same way. And ARAM lets you focus all of your energy into messing with these new skills.
Yeah, I played an ARAM with a couple of ARAMs with Leah the other day, and oh man, I forget the first character I played. But then I played Nautilus, who I hadn't played in since I first tried it, and I had a really good game. He's like giant guy, has a hook, throws it, like can pull himself into combat. He's a good initiator, and that's fun.
Clockwork.
I reestablished my love for a character just because. Oh hey, ARAM picked him for me. I think that's a good mode. It's good practice. ARAM's definitely good to learn how to team fight. That's for sure. I know you guys have all random, and then you die, and then you get a new random champion.
So if you basically you spawn as whatever Clockwork, and you play and you lane and you buy items, and then you die and you respawn as Crystal Maiden. Oh, all the items you bought for Clockwork don't really work for her.
Oh man.
So you just kind of have to. It's awesome though, because you have to start thinking like, man, okay, I'm probably gonna die like 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, who knows? So I need to buy items that are beneficial for multiple characters and invest in items that are going to be great for me long term, no matter who I am.
Yeah.
So you just start buying like weird things that you might not need.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh man, like we have enough tickets that I could probably just throw myself in there, die, and respawn as somebody better.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's not ARAM.
Yeah, I again, MOBAs are a social thing. You have to play with people, and that's how you learn. And it sucks. And there's no better way there's no better way at this point. I think you can do it. Like you either play by yourself and throw your head against that wall, or you find people to teach you. And they do okay with that with like the coaching systems and a couple different things. And like, but again, it sucks that you have to go outside of the game.
I agree. So it goes. So we're probably not going to see tutorial updates.
Nope.
But that is what we would add.
I would for sure.
Let us know what you would add.
Indeed.
Yeah,
in the comments of this video, with ign-arena, what we do is we put up the episode, and then we put a video at the top, full episode there, so you can watch, or you can download the episode. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can pick up whatever somebody outside just threw against the wall.
Yeah.
There's demolition on the 3rd floor.
Something, yeah, that's
but also
what that
on
is.
this floor, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. Like we're feeling, it's like maybe it's just an earthquake. I don't know what's going on here.
Zombie apocalypse happened right now.
Good thing we're in this totally safe, soundproof room.
Yeah.
That's going to be our show, ign-arena episode 14. Hopefully there's an episode 15 and we don't die on the way out of here today. Thank you for watching. You can follow Brian on Twitter. He's at Albino Albert. I am at Mitchie D. Kyle is at Kyle that Kyle. Mm-hmm. James is at, I always forget, James_Faulkner.
Yup.
Yes.
Get underscores out of your Twitter handles, people. Come on.
Get it together, James.
What should I change it
James
to?
Faulkner.
It's not available.
J. Faulkner.
At It's My Birthday Today.
Registering that now.
Yes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us reviews if you feel so that we deserve them. I don't know. I've actually never read the reviews for the show. I'm kind of scared too.
I read the comments.
Okay.
I read the comments. Yeah, they're mostly good.
I'm going to brave into the YouTube waters, youtube.com/ign-arena. And I'm going to see how that goes.
They want us to talk about Smite.
Yeah,
I know. And also, Heroes of the Storm is coming out of Technical Alpha, so we should maybe check that out one more time.
I'm in the alpha.
Me too. When they open it back up, it's down right now, and it's going to open up for like the final phase. We should check it out, and we should come up with some topics on that game. Because that game is really cool, and I do want to play more of it.
I'm a fan of Blizzard.
Me too. I'm going to BlizzCon, so hopefully there's more news on that there. Is that everything? We got the YouTube, we got the iTunes. Did we promote ourselves enough? YouTube.com/ign-arena. YouTube. Email the show, arena-podcast@ign.com. Email us your topic suggestions, your questions, like James did today, not you. And we'll see you next time at IGN Arena episode 15. Thanks.
Bye.